I'm going to go show you how to get to the library. This is part one when you're doing SLOs. Going to the library, entering your assessment, and the second part of that is attaching the assessment instrument, the rubric, to your section. First, you have to be at the role as a course coordinator in elumen. So you go right here, the step number 1, course coordinator. Then you have to select the department. So make sure there's a little, like if you're in the ESL program, you're probably going to get ESL and ESLN. Make sure you're always on ESLN. Okay. The third thing you're going to make sure is that you're in the right semester. So we're doing assessments for spring 18. So make sure right here it says spring 18. Okay, we'll continue on step 4, which is we're going to click here on the tab SLO assessments. Okay, we move to the next page. We're going to click on assessments. That's still on that page, sorry. Okay, so here is your library. Sometimes you have to click on show filters right here on the right, and then make sure you're in the right class by clicking here. Now when you click here, it's going to show you all the classes. They're all selected actually, so by default it will show you all the classes that for your program. So what you're going to do is, if you want, you can uncheck. What means, for example, if I want Word, I'm going to uncheck everything else, and that will then I click here on the right hand side. That will show me all the assessments that I've already have for that course. Now if you see here, I look at my list. The first one, it says default CSLO assessment. This is a default assessment that Melissa adds automatically if she doesn't find any assessment for that semester. Okay, so this might get confusing sometimes because when you're going to enter your scores, you might see that one, but you disregard it. You use your own assessment that you're going to enter in the library. Now I have other assessments here. This is from a different semester, and actually got you, you know, she planned it. Now, if you want to unplan it, you have to contact her, okay? And so I have 2 assessments that I've created. One that I did in fall 17, and it does say SLO 3, but it's SLO 1 and SLO 2. Very important that you name your assessments, you see, because this is not named correctly. You have to put the course, so BUSN 7302 is recommended. The next part you're going to put the SLO number, okay? Now this is one that I've entered for this semester. In some of my courses I rather assess both SLOs. Actually now Word, that course has only 2 SLOs. And this is the description that I have put. It's a project, and I have not planned it, okay? So I'm just going to go in on that. But if this is, you're going to enter a brand new assessment, you can go add assessment. Okay, you see the button there. Now, if you want to copy, because I actually started this, the SLO 1 and 2 from this one, what I did is you check on it and then you clone it. Okay, clone is make a copy. Okay, and that's how I started with this one, and then I modified it. Okay, so once you have it, it's not planned, but maybe, which is good, because you can start entering your assessment and you can save it, and then you can go back and modify it and finish it up. So while it's not final, it will be final if I've planned it. Okay, so let me go ahead and edit so I can show you. Okay, so here, if it's a brand new assessment anyways, or even if you clone it, the assessment name you have to enter, again, the course ID, the SLO number, and maybe what it is. Here I gave a description. This is an individual project assigned and developed throughout the semester. And then you set the assessment type to project. Then you add the reflection template. And you can find all these steps in the manual. Right now I'm in page 3 of the non-credit manual. Okay, so on the reflection, what you do is you go add reflection. You see, if you were cloning it, you will click the X to delete it, because I have one from the copy I did, the cloning. And so I'm just going to delete it, and so we can do it. So I click on add reflection template, and in the semester she'll have the default Melissa. I'm talking about Melissa. So click on default, and these are the questions that you have to answer based on your results. So that's the reflection. Now, elumen, you have to scroll down. You think that once you check it to find it, sometimes it's long. So I'm going to click add, and there's the reflection form. Here where it says project guidelines, you will click there. I'm not going to delete it, and browse to the file that has the instructions. Okay. So I have it in PDF form. So make sure you have PDF form. If you have a document, you have 2 documents, what you should do is copy and paste the second one into the first one, and then make a PDF. It only allows you to attach 1 document. Okay, and I put that in the upload, evaluate, assessment guide. So this is what actually instructions you give to the students. And to have, you have to check here, add activity name and description. Now, sometimes it will already be checked, but if it's not, you won't see this. So you have to check it, okay? So you can see. Activity name, individual work project. So here I was really more descriptive on the activity, because whatever I do here, it's going to show in when I go on my course. Okay, you're going to skip this. This time we're not using this, maybe in the future. And also self-assessments. Then you select the rubric type. You have 2 choices, activity-oriented and outcomes-oriented. If you just have one-liner kind of rubric, let me give you an example. Like if I would only have this, you would do the outcomes. An activity-oriented allows you to have more than one criterion. Okay, criteria is what you want the students to do. Okay, so yours might be simple. So depending on the SLO of the semester, you will check that SLO. I can delete this one so I can show you. Okay. This is for my SLO number 2. So I'm going to go add a rubric. A row will be for another criterion for the previous rubric. And then I'm going to click on link SLO. So most of you will, to start, will have outcomes oriented. And here you have the course and the SLO. If for some reason you don't have this, contact myself and Melissa. So I'm going to click on SLO 1. And now it shows there. Okay. And it's 100%, so 1. The criteria, a professional, looking document. Okay, our points here are 0 to 4. And but it doesn't matter. What you have to do is if it's 15, I have a table that I do 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever points I'm giving total, then I have the corresponding scores. If it's a 4, a 3, a 2, so you just have to decide. So 2 for me is 70%. So I figure if it's 30 points, what's 70% of 30? And then I do the range of the other points on 3, and then the highest on 4. Okay, like a B and an A. Okay. So then it's easier for me when I see the points. I click. I know what's a 4, depending on the total points of the project or activity that I am assessing. Okay. Now this one, I'm not going to change the descriptions of the levels. I'm just going to use that. Just keep it that way. So I'm going to click save. Oh, one more thing. If you are doing the activity oriented, the first one could have been a 1 and 0, 0, but I'm doing weights because I'm weighing them the same. But if I decided that the last criterion of using the features and productivity, and I want it to be higher than the other ones, they have to add up to 1. These 4 have to add up to 1 and have to have 3 places after the decimal. Okay, so it can get a little trickier. But if you don't know, you're not sure, because it won't let you save if the weights are not right. You can just keep the first one at 1 and everything at 0, 0. Okay, so go and save. So now that I have my assessment, and I can see it, what it does, it goes to the bottom of the list. So I see it there, okay? So if you don't find it in the top, in the middle, go to the bottom. Or you can go show filters again. I'm going to show you that. And then click here on the course, unselect all the other courses, and just leave the course that you want to look for the assessment, okay? And then click on the white area. So here we are. Now my results are smaller. Then I see it better. Okay, so I'm gonna check it. There's still no plan. That means you can enter scores. So I'm gonna check it. And now I have the bar. This bar with the options shows up. I'm going to click on Plan. Plan. So that's starts on page 6 of the manual. Plan. This is page 7. Make sure you're in the right semester. There's your course, but guess what? There's no sections for here. So you have to click here. You want to view sections without a plan. That means without an assessment. And then you refresh. Click on refresh. That's step 4. Okay, now you see sections. Okay, so so you will plan your assessment to the section. So this is, I only need to plan for myself this semester. So I'm going to drag and drop. You see, this is the assessment, this button. I drag and drop over my section. Let go. Make sure right now that you're going to uncheck send notification. We're on page 9. And then click on confirm. Okay, distributed. You see, you get distributed successfully. That means you have your rubric, your assessment has been attached, and then now you can enter scores. So these are the steps to go to the library and enter your rubric. And the third part of that is to plan your assessment. That means attach your rubric to the section. That gets you ready for SLOs for the semester. Usually Melissa sends, and there is a deadline at the beginning of the term to do this. Okay, so that will be it for this part.